Hi everyone, good to see you again. Time for lecture number 2. This week, again, we are going back to our Blue Book lectures, our listening lab book. Here we go, Unit 7. Let's get into it. Housing. Housing just means where you live. Any kind of house, anything, any kind of dwelling place to live. And look at the top here. What is your ideal place to live? Go on your own, just circle where you'd like to live. A large apartment in a suburb. Suburb means below, urban, city. So not below the city, but next to the city. Okay, a suburb like Pundong or Ilsan, Puchon, Guri. These are all right next to Seoul. Even Songnam is kind of a suburb of Seoul. It's not Seoul, but it's right next to Seoul. So you could live in the suburb and work in the city. Large yard, madang, a big beautiful yard. Garage. A garage here is where you park your car, like a room connected to the house where you park a car indoors. A house in the country. Country can mean nara or shikol. Here it's shikol, countryside. And a studio apartment in the city. A studio is, in Korea, it's often called one room, which is actually Konglish. We call it a studio apartment in the US. And it means one big room plus a toilet, a bathroom. So kitchen, bedroom, everything is one. And then you have, of course, a separate bathroom on the side. That's a studio apartment. Okay, which one is your favorite? Me, I like living in a city and I like a smallish apartment. It's very easy to maintain. I like being in a city and I like to have a place that's easy to take care of. Number 1, people are talking about housing. What kind of house or apartment does each person need? Listen and circle the correct answer. Number 1, page 26, go ahead. Number 1 is a studio apartment. There's no point in having there's no point means there's no reason or it doesn't make sense. Okay? It doesn't make sense. Number 1 is A, number 2 is B. Okay, there's no point means very much in number 2, they say it doesn't make sense. I don't think it makes sense means there's no reason. There's no point. Okay, B, a house with a yard is good. Number 3, A, an apartment in the city. Sure. Why? Because of commuting. Commuting. You don't want a big commute. Commute means to travel back and forth to work. So if you live in Pundong and you work in Seoul, you have to commute every day. Go to Seoul, go back home. Now, commuting could be by car, by train, by bus, subway, taxi, doesn't matter. Just you have to go to work and back. A lot of people around Seoul commute to work every day. Number 4, a house in the country. A. It's very confusing here. I work out of my home. Now, that doesn't mean I work outside of my home. That means I work in my home. Yeah, confusing. I work out of my home means I work in my home, working from home. My work online comes out from my home. My work comes from my home out to my company or whoever. A lot of people work out of their home. They work online on their computer. Number 5, a large apartment. Sure, good sized. Good sized means large. And number 6, a small apartment near the airport. They actually like the sound of the airplanes. One thing I want to show you, is this term high rise. A high rise is a very large, tall apartment building. They're very, very common in Seoul, actually all over Korea. Okay, all these big apartment buildings, these are high rises. High rise implies for living apartments, not for offices and professional buildings. Those we call skyscrapers, very large office building. They're more commercial. A high-rise is more for apartments and living. Again, very common in Korea, high-rises. Part 1, listen again one time, please. Listen again. Make sure you understood everything. Go ahead. Part 2, task 1. People are talking about where they live. What do the people dislike about each place? Listen and circle the correct answer. Okay, go ahead, listen and talk about the negative point. What do people dislike about each place? Number 1, the problem is the size. Not enough room for all my stuff. All my stuff means all my things, my items, my belongings. We don't say stuffs. This is all my stuff. Or, these are all my things. One thing, many things, plural. One stuff? No, just stuff. All my stuff. Number 1 is C. Number 2, the problem is the condition. It's falling apart. Falling apart means getting worse and worse. Condition. You know, my shirt's falling apart. You know, the button came out and it's unraveling and there's the hole in it. Falling apart, bad condition. What else? Mentioning about stained. Okay, being stained, the carpet stained. You know, wine falls on the carpet, or coffee or oil, and it stains, and then you can't wash it out. It's been permanently discolored. Number 3, the problem is the location. Too far during rush hour. Rush hour, again, means the high, heavy traffic time. There's a morning rush hour, everybody going to work. There's an evening rush hour, everybody going home from work. Rush hour. Nobody's rushing, and it's not for 1 hour, but we call it rush hour. I don't know why. Number 4, the problem is the rent. I can't afford it. I can't afford it means it's too expensive. I want to buy this fancy car, but it's too expensive. I can't afford it. Okay. Number 5, again, the condition, like with number 2. Here it's very old. Ancient means very, very, very old. The appliances, the oven, the stove, needs a coat of paint, a covering of paint. Appliances are electric things you use in the house. You know, refrigerator is an appliance. Toaster, blender, mixogi. These are appliances. Washing machine, something electric that you use. Apply means use, so you use it in your house. And number 6, the problem is the neighbors. They're annoying. They're very, very nosy. They're very annoying. They bother you. If something annoys you, it really bothers you. It upsets you. Neighbors always getting in your business. That's very annoying. Oh, leave me alone. Give me some privacy. Number 6 is A. Okay, listen again and answer task 2. What do the people like about each place? Task 1 was the negative point. What's the bad thing? What do they dislike? Well, they dislike things about each place, but they also like some things. Every place has negative point and positive point. What is the positive point? What do they like? Listen again. Number 1, the neighbors are fantastic. It's too small. I don't have room for all my stuff, but I have great neighbors. It's always nice to have good neighbors. E. Number 2, C. The condition is bad. The condition is bad, is stained, falling apart, but the location is great. It's convenient for shopping. And location is very important in a home. Number 3, D. It's nice and quiet on the weekends. Sure, you live in the suburbs, but you have to commute every day. Commuting Monday to Friday, but on the weekends, it's nice and quiet and peaceful. That's a good point. D. Number 4, F, perfect location, but expensive. The rent is high. Why? Because of the location. Very nice location often means very expensive rent. F. Number 5, the condition was bad, but A, it's very big. Very good sized apartment. Good size is great, but condition, quite often, really old, big old places have really bad condition, but lots of room, lots of space for all your stuff, all your things. And number 6 is B, cheap rent. Neighbors are a problem, but cheap rent. I guess I have to live with the neighbors because the rent's so cheap. Okay, now, if there's any trouble with that one, please listen again. If necessary, I encourage you to listen again a third time, and go ahead. And if you've listened, great. If you just chose not to, okay, then we'll go on now to part 3. Listening, part 3, page 28. People are talking about why they moved to different places. Does the information in the chart describe the old place or the new place? Each person has moved, and they will talk about the old place, good points or bad points, and the new place, where they live now, good points, bad points. Check the points. Are they old place or new place? Task 3, or listening 3. Go ahead. Okay, number 1, loud neighbors. Yeah, you see the picture. They're very listening to loud music, making a mess, very loud neighbors upstairs. Old place. The new place, quiet neighbors, much happier in the suburbs. It's not an apartment, it's a house. Quiet neighbors. Number 2, the old place had traffic noise, and the new place, no noise at all. Okay, you're on a high floor. Oh, way up high, there's no noise. You don't hear the traffic. You're too high up. Okay, new place, no noise at all. Old place, traffic noise. Number 3, wonderful landlady in the old place. She was so kind. Landlady, 집주인 여자. If it's a man, it's a landlord. Landlady, landlord, 집주인. But now we had to move because we wanted to be closer to a good school for our kids. New place. Old place, wonderful landlady. New place, close to a good school. Both are very positive points. Number 4, no pets allowed. The old place, the thing was, means the problem was. The thing was, I couldn't own a pet. The problem was, the thing was, here's the thing. Here's the problem. No pets allowed. But the new place, I can have a pet and I live near a park. Old place, no pets allowed. New place, near a park. Number 5, the old place had a small dining room, very small. Couldn't have parties. The new place is much bigger with a great stove. Big stove. I love it. Great stove, new place. Small dining room, old place. And number 6, expensive to take care of, to maintain. Maintenance. Maintenance means what you do to take care of a place. Car maintenance, computer maintenance, taking care of your things, maintaining it. The old place was very expensive and the new place is much, much cheaper. Much cheaper to maintain and much easier. No yard. A yard is beautiful. A yard is nice, but a yard requires maintenance. Time, money, energy to take care of it. Listen again. Now, and do task 2. Listen to the whole thing again. Task 2, where do they live now? What kind of place are they living in now? The new place. Go ahead. Okay, number 1, a house in the suburbs. Number 2, B, an apartment on a high floor. No noise at all, B. Number 3, an apartment in the suburbs, close to a good school for our children. Number 4, a building near the park. A park to take her pet, and the new place, you're allowed pets, so now she lives near a park. A. Number 5, C, an apartment with a huge kitchen and a great stove. C. And number 6, an apartment with no yard. Much easier to maintain, much cheaper too. Okay, very good. If you need to listen again, please do. Right? Always I encourage you to listen a third time. It's good practice. You look for the vocabulary, the answers, and so on. Okay, go ahead. Okay, we'll finish with dictation on page 29. Listen and fill in the blanks. Listen twice. Okay, this is listening file number 36. Okay, the final file that I sent you. Listen 2 times. Okay, write down the words as you listen. Go ahead. How's it going? Do you like your new apartment? Oh, I love it. My neighbors are really friendly. My neighbors are, plural, neighbors, S, are, A-R-E, plural, really friendly. Neighbors are really friendly. And the landlord is nice. 집주인 남자. Landlord is namja, landlady is 여자. The building is the, capital T. No capital? Wrong. The, T-H-E, capital T. Building is 10 stories high. A story is just a floor. So, okay, 10 stories, 10 floors. 10 floors high, but we say 10 stories high. 10 apartments on each floor, 10 times 10 equals 100. So there are 100 apartments. Have you seen some of the other apartments? Yeah, my next door neighbor, the person exactly next to you. Okay, next door neighbor can be in an apartment building, door, next door. Or in a house. Okay, the house next to yours is your next door neighbor. Next house, next apartment, next door. Next door neighbor. She and her husband are doctors. Husband, R-A-R-E, doctors, S with an S at the end. She and her husband are doctors. Got it? Listen again one more time. All right, great work. As always, good job, everyone. That's all for Listening Lab this week, and that's all for our lectures this week. Be sure to finish this. Tell me you finished it, and do your work in the main book. Send me your homework. Tell me you've got everything done by 9 a.m. Thursday morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Have a good week, everyone.